Lose weight, spend less, save more, spend more time with family, and quit smoking. Those are among the top 10 New Year's resolutions, so says the Journal of Psychology. And those seem like noble endeavors, but here to explain why it takes more than willpower to succeed are my guest, Tina Grummel, a brain researcher at UC San Diego, and psychotherapist and addiction specialist, Matthew Bruin. Now, Tina, biologically speaking, what happens in the brain when a habit is being formed?
Well, our action system changes from a goal-directed to more of a habitual process. And so what happens is that these brain connections between two neurons start strengthening in the circuit's underlying habits.
The cells actually start strengthening.
The connections between the cells start strengthening, so that communication between them goes smoother.
And is there a particular part of the brain that's involved in this?
Yeah, so we know that for both actions, goal-directed actions and habitual actions, that the cortex sends information down through the basal ganglia. Now, the part of the basal ganglia underlying habits is called the putamen.
So there's an actual specific part of the brain that you can watch this happen when somebody's trying to form a habit.
Yeah, so animal researchers have looked at the activity of neurons, and people have looked at the imaging of brains in humans.
And it's about the same.
Looks about the same.
I see. Now, Matthew, practically speaking, when you're trying to form a habit, what has to happen in order to form that habit?
Well, a couple things: repetition, and also usually a desire to implement the behavior.
Are there certain things with that repetition, like that trigger it, for instance, like you come in and I'm thinking of starting your car, right? That you always pick up the keys with your right hand, they're always here, are there certain things that have to happen in the same order, that sort of thing, and environmental triggers?
It doesn't have to happen, but usually there's something that is repeated multiple times where there's a specific outcome that generates that line of behavior.
How long does it take to actually form a habit?
You know, there's various answers to that question, and none of them seem to be the same. The original idea was somewhere between 18 and 21 days, the whole 3-week philosophy to build a habit. Most research now shows that that's not necessarily conclusive. There's a lot of different factors. Everyone's brain's different, and behaviors are all different. So it could range somewhere for 2 months, and for some people it may take longer than that. We don't really know.
And I understand it's based on maybe the complexity. Learning how to brush your teeth every night maybe not be as hard as quitting smoking.
It could
Correct?
be.
Okay. Tina, is there a physical reason why it might be easier to form a bad habit, let's say eating cookies at 3 o'clock every day, as opposed to forming a good habit, let's say eating broccoli for dinner?
Well, there may be something. What we're finding with drugs of abuse is that drugs may actually independently strengthen the circuits that underlie habit formation. So it could be that perhaps some activities we do may alter the circuits more than others.
I'm going to ask both of you this, and I'm going to start with you. There's some research that suggests that willpower is something that is expendable. You use it up and you deplete it, and it has to be replenished. Is that something that you find to be true?
I don't think that there's a lot of work at my end examining that particular topic, I guess. But when we think of willpower, we think about self-control. And both habits and other behaviors are under our control. It's just, why do we do them?
And let me ask you this, Matt, on that same note then, let's say willpower isn't all that you need in order to successfully make or create a new habit and keep it. Correct. What would be ways that you could create a new habit?
Having a good plan with short, intermediate, and long-term goals as markers to help you move forward in a even-paced way. Support, both socially or professionally, someone to help motivate you and keep you on track is also a key component, as well as ways to identify and gain pleasure or have a reward for moving in the direction that you want to go. All three of those things are important components of forming habits and continuing on.
So kind of to recap, small attainable goals. Don't say I'm going to lose 100 pounds, but maybe how much you're going to lose each week, and then rewarding yourself, probably not with food, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Tina, when it comes to the brain, are there certain things we can do to increase the likelihood that we will form those nerve connections and form a habit?
Repetition. It seems that habits can really come about when we do the same thing over and over and over again. So while it may be hard at first, the more we do it, the more likely that these circuits are going to be strengthened and increase the likelihood of our behavior.
All right. Well, we have a lot more about this on our website, kpbs.org. Tina Grummel and Matthew Bruin, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.